Welcome everyone. Today I'm gonna discuss about poverty reduction. I request all of our students please open your camera. So millions of people live in extreme poverty. We have more than 2 billion people those who live in extreme poverty. Distribution of the people between poverty thresholds worlds we were observing from 1981 to 21st century there is a billions of people those who have uh, poverty. Extreme poverty is defined as living with per capita household consumption below 1.990 international dollar per day. International dollar are adjusted for inflation and for price difference across countries. Poverty gap index at 1.9 is per dollars. So if we focus on intensity of poverty, we see a similar patterns. The country where a large share of the people live in extreme poverty are also the countries where people tend to have the large shortfall from the poverty line. In other words, people below the international poverty line tend to have much worse living standard in low income countries. We can reduce poverty. It is important to remember that despite the magnitudes of the challenge, poverty is not unavoidable. In 1820, there were just under 1.1 billion people in the world, of which more than 1 billion live in extreme poverty. Over the next 150 years, the decline of poverty was not fast enough to offset the very rapid rise of the world population. So the number of non-poor and the poor people increase. Since around 1970, however, we are living in a world in which the number of people who are not living in extreme poverty is rising, which the number of people who are living the extreme poverty is falling. In fact, in today's rich countries, a large share of the population live in extreme poverty until fairly recently. Actually, in most of these countries, the majority of the population lived in the extreme deprivations only a few generations gap. Also, progress was made at a fast pace. In some cases, even at a constant pace. And this progress is not only about income moving marginally above the extreme poverty line. In the recent decade, the global poverty rate has been going down independently of whether we set the poverty line at 1.9 to $80 per day. The experience of China is remarkable in the respect. In 1984, more than two-thirds of the population live in the extreme poverty. And over the course of just one generation, the share is extreme poverty declined to less than 2%. So you can explore trend by the country using the portion change country in the interactive versions of this chart. And you can also toggle the options relatives to show total poverty head count figure. We should reduce poverty. There is no empirical evidence to support the romantic idea that people live in extreme material deprivation are satisfied with their standard of living. Dissatisfaction with the standard of living versus GDP per capita. The Goal Up World poll asked people around the world what they thought about their standard of living, not only about their income. The following chart compared the answer of the people in different countries with the average income in those countries. It shows that, broadly speaking, people live in poorer countries tend to be less satisfied with their living standard. With the average income in those countries. It shows that, broadly speaking, people live in poorer countries tend to be less satisfied with their living standard. Okay, I request everyone please do not open the mic or your speakers because there are some noise. Anyway, the Gallup World Poll asked people around the world what they thought about their standard of living, not only about their income. The following chart compared the answer of the people in different countries with the. Can you hear me? The following chart compared the answer of the people in different countries with the average income in those countries. It shows that broadly speaking, people living in the people poorer countries tend to be less satisfied with the living standard. And there is a similar correction in terms of subject well-being, as this chart shows low-income countries tend to have lower self-report life satisfaction, and rich people within these countries tend to have higher self-report life satisfaction. How can we reduce poverty? This is most important thing. Poverty is complex. It's not just about monetary income. This chart shows a proxy of multi dimensional poverty with 10,000 living indicators of the deprivation in the context of education, health, and living standard. As we can see, monetary and multidimensional poverty are related, but clearly not one and the same. But high income do make a huge difference to the living standard. It's not coincidence that in the last decade, when we have reduced poverty globally, we have also witnessed important economic growth. Indeed, the correlation between GDP per capita and extreme poverty is strong, both across countries at any point in time as well as within countries across time. Social policy and direct household level support to make an important difference. Social policy is important both because it can contribute to promote income growth and because it often make the wait for growth less painful. Economics seems to have a very little useful to say about why some countries grow and does not do not. Give the economic growth require manpower and brain power. It seems plausible, however, that whether that spark occur, it is more like to catch fire if women and the men are properly educated, well-fed, and healthy. And if citizens feel secure and confident enough to invest in their country, children, to let them leave home to get the new job in the city. It is also probably the truth that until the happiness, something need to be done to make that wait for the spark more beatable. So poverty is a very challenging thing, and most important thing is that we have to overcome from this challenging situation. Now I want to focus on IELTS, especially my target that I have to understand how do you think about IELTS listening. Uh, this is very important. IELTS, self-dedicated learning for the IELTS listening and reading test. What is IELTS? The International English Language Test System, developed as a test of English for immigration, work, and academic study, used mostly in UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. What is IELTS? Check with a partner how much do you know already. Listening, take 30 minutes. It is played once only. There is time to read through the question before you begin. There is 10 minutes at end of the transfer your answer. There are four parts. Listening. People speaking, number one, dialogue, number two, monology, number three, dialogue, and number four, monology. So one of the important aspect always I share that you have to go for a lot of uh, reading, lot of writing, and lot of listening things. For listening, you need knowledge of speaking English, fluency, knowledge of conversation, the ability to predict, identify keywords and synonyms, and note takes. Listening, fluency part for part one, commercial radio. Practice writing number, dates, day, address. Find a list of address, phone number, dates. Use the practice centers. After each session, always strength and remain weakness. Listening, any questions? Reading. There are three texts with around 2,500 words altogether. The texts are taken from book, journals, and magazine questions, including multiple choice, matching headlines to paragraph, true, false, not given, fill in the gaps. Reading. Three-part keywords, synonyms, ability to locate an answer, and unit, skim, scan, and careful. Reading. So, in the reading, know your strength and weakness. Focus on your learning. Practice dedications to of number, spelling, or note takens. Practice skimming and scanning to find information. Build your vocabulary, especially academic phrase and synonyms. Practice the test under the time conditions. Support. Facebook page, meetups, learning advisor, practice centers, other students. Teachers Day. So there are different kind of things we can understand through the learning process. So my questions to everyone, Mr. Peace, like how you want to share your experience. Number one, about the African economic context. This is your speaking topic. Number two, how we improve reading habits. Mr. Peace.
Repeat the question.
My question is that how you want to share your African economic structure and situation with our audience. Do you understand?
No, I don't understand.
Do you understand what is economic condition?
Hello?
Mabiani, can you help me? Devotee, can you help me? Devotee, can you
Dear
help
Mr.
me?
President, sorry for interruption. So, dear participant, Mr. President has suggested that you can talk about economic matters. You can just give an economic image even in our country. Your participation is needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Diana, can you share some of the economical context of Africa? Diani, can you
Yeah,
share
I
the
can give
economic?
just two sentences. I can give two sentences that economic in Africa in our time is focusing on technology and infrastructures. Yeah, I mean technology and infrastructures. That's what and agriculture sector. Those are three sectors which in our time many countries, African countries, are focusing on, particularly to enhance and increase policy development, policy research in the mentioned sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also
Thank you.
entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Peace, can you share your experience? Can you say something about African economy?
African economy. I know about African economy, but I know about the Rana. Rwanda has set uh, some goals, some programs to solve the where the number one was uh, economic development and poverty reduction strategy, ADPRC, where it started in 2008 to 2019, where the government has focused on reduction of poverty by from 2006, where it was on 57% to 2011, 45%. And they used to give people cows, one cow per family, what called the Jirinha, where it reduced those kind of give milk to the people, to the church and the family with poverty. And another one was in Uganda, where it is commonly known community work. It is known to build house for those who were not able to, who are homeless, to cut weeds for neighbors and construction road, bridges and school and some hospital in local area. The number four was about SACCO, saving and credit cooperation. It was one important that the government of Rwanda put money so that for those who they living in poverty can go to the SACCO, they got money they use for daily basis, then they give some incomes at low cost. This is our economy for Rwanda to eradicate the poverty. I know for Rwanda, but for other country, I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Christine, I request everyone, please open your camera. Please open your camera. Christine? Christine?
Hello.
Yes. Mabiani. Mr. Mabiani. So what you want to share about economy of Africa?
Hello.
Yes, Mabiani, can you share some experience of African economy? Like how does African economy work?
Anyway, can you hear me? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Anyway, what I can say about the economy of Africa, I can say that the backbone of the economy of the Africa rely mostly on agriculture, on the agriculture sector. A large population of African countries mostly depend on agriculture. But nowadays, some African countries, mostly what I can say, like our country, Rwanda, is in the revolution of the industrialization and the private sector. The country now is in the revolution of the industrialization, where some small industries are now put in place to build also to help in the provision of work. So that's what I can say. But the most part of the African economy rely on the agriculture sector. Thank you very much. That's what I can say.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Christine, what you want to share about women empowerment in Africa? Christine.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. What I can say about women in economy is that, for example, here in Rwanda, they have given chance for women. So they created the bank which helped them. It's called BDF. It's the bank for women to support the business, to support women in different businesses. They give them the capital to start their own business, and many women are found in agriculture and in farming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Diani, how you want to share your experience like women empowerments, like glass ceiling factors? Especially, I love to learn more how in Rwanda actually women actually improve their career and economical activities.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Yeah, women had been contributed a lot in our country economic development. Yeah, particularly in our time, they no longer focus on one sector, as one of our colleagues, Mr. Robert mentioned it. Yes, agriculture had been a pilot, a bridge to our country economic development, even if over 70% farmers are women in our country. But in our time, they have tackled other sectors, included industrialization, infrastructure, the construction, also TVET schools. In our time, female have been joined to the number has been increased time to time. So what I can say is that we trust tomorrow on springtime, that women will join entrepreneurship, also to contribute a lot to the country economic development, to social economic transformation in all sectors. Particularly, we urge all women who are time to join also to create jobs through technology, also through innovation matters. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Uriwangi, like
Thank you.
what you want to share about women empowerment in Africa? Uriwangi? Okay. Uh, for this IELTS score development, this kind of analysis is very important. Compare and contrast. You have to know how to compare, example, African economy and North American economy, or African economy and Asian economy. Compare. Let's say in my discussions, I give you information that how China overcome from the poverty after 1980. Okay, they reduced their poverty. So overcoming from this situation, this is very, very important for us. And most important thing is that we need to understand how we can create impact for our economy, how we can create an effective relationship for the economy. So that is the issues. Let's say World Talent Economy Forum offering you and supporting you for your employment. You need to do hard work, no choice. You have to do hard work because hard work is one and only solutions for overcome from the economic challenges. Okay, so
Yeah.
when you are preparing for the IELTS and this kind of thing, my first request, be consistent. Second request, you have to do lot of reading, writing, listening and speaking. It will be very hard if you want to achieve IELTS 7 next month.
Yeah.
It will be very, very hard. How many of you read English newspaper regularly? How many of you? How many of you listen English news regularly? Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
We do, we do, but not regularly.
It's your choice. If you want to achieve your score from the day one, I said you have to do it regularly.
Okay.
You have to create a team. You need to discuss in between your team. You have to create a team. So this team, you have to discuss a topic. Let's say how we can overcome from economical challenges. Okay. So these are the very basic things. These are the very important things. You always have to be very focused. Okay. So I want to give you the task. You give me the evidence in the next class that you feel reading requirement, like you read one article, at least 1 to 5 article. Then you listen at least 1 hour of English news. You at least create a team and you discuss in between your team. Your communication must need to be in English. And from the article, what you learn, from the news, what you learn, you have to develop a write up, a summary. So if you can follow this process, your English communication skill will be improved. Remember, communication is number one. Always communication is number one. Communications can help you to grow your economy. Communications can help you to grow your network, your relationship, uh, your collaborations. If you can do it, you can achieve good score. Uh, Diana, so what you want to add for today's sessions from Collated Lab?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Yeah, we really appreciate, first of all, for your important time and provide us this opportunity. I'd like also to appreciate the participants because they have been applied well their participation compared to the days ago. Now they try to respond. Also now they try to do some homework which given. what I can urge them is that also tomorrow they must come and attend on time. And before attending, they must apply work on their homework you gave them. Since after this class, they have to read news, to take a few time to read news and to summarize newspaper where they have read it. We have CNN, we have BBC, we have New Times in Rwanda. We have many, you can just visit there. We know the links. Then also you have to listen. You have to listen. So you have to listen. There are some English news which you can also follow and summarize as we suggested. Then by tomorrow you can give a summary as requested. Suggested by you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you everyone for joining today's sessions, but we need to be very much serious about the session about your IELTS preparation. It will help you. It will help you to develop a better careers. Diani.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I want to remind each of the participants, for those one not around, we remind them, they must make sure to know that we don't have a lot of time. We don't have like an year. It's next year, first month for the exam. They must work hard. By working hard, you used to ask them. I know they are ordered to manage well our busy schedule, but you really need to be ready for this exam as you have been prepared for this. We don't need each of you to fail. Please make sure you follow the advice so that next month you can win this exam. We keep supporting you in one way or another way. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining today's sessions. Bye bye and take care.
Bye bye.
Thank you.